Hello everyone, I'm Nidhi. I am the director of Nidhi English Academy, which is there as an academy in Panipat for so long. I would say I have experience of more than 11 years in teaching English. Today I'm here to talk about Ielts speaking. Since most of my students have been facing problem from last couple of days and they have come to me that ma'am please give us some tips about the same. So the reason why I'm here because I believe not only my students, in fact everybody in Northern India faces the same problem. Reason why? Because we have either a Haryanvi accent or the Punjabi accent because we belong to these native areas, and it comes when we are speaking and sitting for Ielts test. Let's talk about the very first thing, which is a major phobia for students, and that is, let's talk about your grammar. Since GRA, that means grammatical range and accuracy, is a major component of Ielts speaking. So the very first thing I would like to inform to all of you that when you are speaking something, you have to be grammatically correct. But there is something which is important to be notified right now. This is pretty much important, and that is, even if you are grammatically incorrect at times, it's fairly okay. Don't panic in the test, because most of the people, even the Canadians or the Americans, they also make flaws while speaking the language, even English. So that's fairly okay. If you are 90% accurate, you still can score 7+, right? So the very first thing, you have to brush up your skills for the basic English grammar. If that is fairly okay, you'll be getting more score. Even if there are flaws while speaking in the test, don't panic at all. Second thing, that is number 2. Actually, you are given score based on your pronunciation, but I would say accent part. There is one question which is asked by students, that does accent matter? I would say not at all. Either you speak natural way, which is yours, or you imitate or emulate American, Canadian or British accent. That does not matter at all. The very first thing that examiner is going to check is your pronunciation. How accurately you pronounce a word is far more important than how you're going to imitate an accent. So don't bother, don't worry, don't imitate anyone. Just speak the way Indians generally speak, and that's fairly okay even to score 7 or 8 points. I hope this is clear. The third aspect which I'm going to talk about is vocabulary. Although there's nothing different that you might feel right now about the video, but there is, because with every myth that students have, I'm going to clarify that. Since I told about grammar, if it's incorrect, fairly okay, just keep on speaking. You can still get very good score. Talk about accent, as I've informed, no need for the same. Now, part 3 is vocab. See, there are 2 sorts of vocabulary for Ielts speaking or writing. The first one is academic vocabulary, and the second one is topic specific. I write here topic specific vocabulary. And both the form of vocabularies are pretty much important for anyone who's trying to migrate to other parts of the world, because when you're going to communicate, it's going to be checked from your level of vocabulary. So when it comes to academic vocabulary, just work on connectors. That's okay, that's simple, but I would say unusual connectors. For example, most of the students just say furthermore, moreover, however, like that. But you have to use something else like admittedly, additionally, indubitably, irrefutably, beyond the conventional domains. So this is something that you must get ready, you must prepare yourself for the same. Right? Now, the second is topic specific. It has a major scoring part in Ielts speaking. For example, if I have a topic which is linked to any of the hill stations, like talk about your favorite place where you visited recently. So if I'm going to talk about it was completely spectacular place, I'm going to talk about the beauty of that place. In that way, I'm going to use this vocabulary, I'm going to have a higher score. Now, the fourth thing, and that is fluency. And I would say this is not last, but this is the most important aspect for students and where they face problem. For example, majority of students just speak for a minute. For them, it's very difficult to stretch the answer more and take it up to further 2 minutes or 3 minutes. It's very, very tough for the students because it's okay to have communication which is one-to-one, but when you're going to be tested based on your fluency, it's not at all easy because you're going to speak for so long until the examiner stops you. So I would say in this case, the very first thing you should do is visualize about that place. Second thing, I'll give you one example about, first of all, the visualization. For example, if I've been to any of the historical place, I'll just imagine about the same. If I am thinking, definitely I'm going to have more ideas. The second thing is, for example, I'm going to talk about stretching on the answer. I must move on. What are the hints of the question? If there are hints, I'm going to elaborate one by one, step by step. I'm going to have more organization. That means I'm going to score more on my coherence and cohesion. Last part, and that is, if you are going to lack in terms of your fluency, also do this thing, that just visualize. Along with that, use your sensory organs. For example, the food. When I visited that place, the food was highly palatable. That means the taste. When it comes to any of the concert, I am going to talk about how it sounds like. When I visited a place, how it looks like. These all are the small tips, but very effective tips for the beginners who are getting major problems for speaking, especially in these 4 parts. Thank you so much. We'll be getting back soon after some time and a short while with some important things for writing, listening and reading. Bye-bye.